And we're back with another episode of the Rob J Show, and I'm excited today because I'm talking to somebody who I believe is the best photographer alive right now. I'm talking about Chris Parsons. He's the personal tour photographer for Kendrick Lamar, taking some of his most iconic photos. He's also worked with Kelly Roland, published in Vogue. He's done Nike campaigns. SZA's recent campaign with the Jordan brand, he personally shot. He's an artist, a curator, just a creative who is an amazing talent and someone who I've actually been able to witness progress from literally, started from the bottom to becoming really a titan and somebody at the pinnacle of his industry. It's kind of weird to talk about a friend this way, but you have to give props to people who really earn them. So it's a pleasure to sit down and really be able to have this conversation with Parsons today, man. Welcome to the Rob J Show.
Appreciate you for having me, brother. It's been a long time coming.
Let me ask you this. How much of your talent do you believe, how much of your skill as a photographer do you credit to talent and something natural, and how much of it do you think just came down to you just putting in practice and developing it? Because I never remember you, I've been knowing you 15 years, I never remember you sucking, at photography. It was something that always seemed like you were already kind of good at.
I wouldn't say beginning I was pretty bad. I remember my first photo shoot, Angela Pitts, that's her, one of my homies now, but I shot her and the whole time everything was blurry because I was so nervous and scared to shoot this beautiful girl that was in front of me. I have so many terrible photographs that nobody ever sees. Photo shoots that people ask me, why are you shooting this? Because I'm training. I want to get better. It's like being an athlete. Can't not shoot. I can't turn this shit off. Shit is an obsession. Just keeps going, keeps developing. I just want to keep getting better, and that's it.
So going back to I remember when I initially met you, man. Shameless plug. We both went to FAMU, greatest HBCU in the country. Howard don't want no smoke, but we'll talk about that another time. But I remember meeting you because we both were interning with the same company. As crazy as it is, we're 20-year-olds interning for a 21-year-old. But we were in there learning from Justin, and I was really into videography, and I remember you just really being into photography and also graphic design at that time. And
yeah, it was more graphic design at that time.
Okay, so it was primarily there with it, and I just remember you as just being like somebody who was always kind of creating. Like where did that passion for just always creating and developing ideas come from?
I think I've always kind of had this drive, but definitely when I met my mentor at the time I was interning, Justin Huff, his work ethic was just retarded. He was a machine. Just nonstop. And once I started, I was just collecting his flyers in the shoebox. I was just a fan of his work. And then one day, once I realized who he was, I asked him, yo, do you mind if I come by and just watch you work? So I was just studying architecture and law. So I didn't really want to do that, follow that. And once I met him, went to the office, and one thing led to another, and he's I came back the next day. The next day, he's like, hey, man, next semester, we offer an internship. If you want it, just fill out the paperwork. So I got it, and that led to, got the keys. I was just sleeping in the office. That was a split right there for sure, from, old me to, a new vision. And from there, I vowed. I was I never worked for anybody else again. Once I don't know, just seeing everything. And even picking up the camera, that was for sure me watching him and then imitating him in the very beginning. Just, seeing that, okay, you don't have to be a one-dimensional person. It's okay if you want to be a graphic designer, photographer, and videographer, and you could actually be really dope at all of them, depending upon how your work ethic is. That was definitely a valuable lesson in the beginning that I still carry to this day.
Man, that's pretty awesome. That's when you look back at that journey. So many of those same lessons that you described, from learning from Justin Huff. I learned myself, man. I feel like people don't believe sometimes how much talent sometimes when I'm talking about the past and I talk to people about undergrad and some of the things that were going on, I think people either think, they don't necessarily think that I'm lying, but I think people think I'm over exaggerating when I talk about that FAMU time and being there. We were there when T-Pain, gave that song, the T and it sprung, blew up. We were there when Justice League, so many things were going on. I mean, I bet if we really just sat back and counted, we probably could name 30 people right now just that are being forces in the music, film, entertainment world at a HBCU that literally had no film school, no necessarily, I know we had a theater, but it's not like a school of drama or anything of that nature. And so many people just basically just self-carved out, careers for themselves in this industry. And I mean, you're, at the top of the list, but I think people, they don't believe the type of stuff that I'm saying. It's just good for me. It's refreshing to hear someone else who can maybe actually validate it. Like, yo, this stuff is actually true. This really happened. I mean, and it really was just that much talent that we were around. And, for you to take that introduction and just run with it, man, I think that's one of the key, I've been really adamant about trying to identify what are the things that, the most successful people that I know have in common, and almost to a man and woman, shout out to Cam Franklin, it all kind of starts with an opportunity that they just excessively, in a good way, exploited, and you're still on the journey. You're still, that can be traced back to what you just described. And that's amazing, man.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I think it all starts with like an idea, and I think another prerequisite is like all my friends who are like, really doing it a lot. Actually, like exactly what you said. I look back at my circle of friends from Tallahassee. Like everyone's pretty much doing their thing now, and it's all turning over. And it's it's incredible to see the transition. But I think we're all like a bit crazy to have these like big far-fetched ideas. Like how many times I told people like, this is what I'm gonna do, and they're like, huh, what? You're going to work with, I made a list of, I remember one year after like watching The Secret, I think it was like 7 years ago, I made a list of like 10 people, like 10 crazy, like I was like, I make this a far-fetched list of like Jay-Z, Rihanna, just like all, names. And this was when I was really doing graphic design, and I just kind of just started looking at it every day and picturing it. And then eventually I forgot about it. And then I looked 2 years later, I literally could cross every person off that list that I had touched, off from being in my family's living room with an office set up.
Man,
off doing like,
that's a major key. No, you just, man, I hate to kind of cut you off, but man, you just said a major key, and I don't want listeners to miss it, because this is the one part I see in the manifestation process, and and then being there for part of it too. You said, I forgot about it. You released it. I think sometimes on the vision, we keep it's one thing. Once you set the goal, you kind of have to forget about it and just get to moving. Because if you just obsess with it, I think people get caught up in like worshiping the goal, and they hold it so tight that they don't release it and let it start happening. And what you described is you identifying something, but also allowing it, planting the seed and then allowing that seed to have time to come back. You said 2 years later and grow. You didn't plant the seed and then come back how's it looking today? How's this? Let me dig it up and make sure the roots are good. You let the plant grow. And I just wanted to really separate that major key, because I think that's one thing that a lot of people look over, man, and just miss.
Yeah, I think when with manifestation with me, things that it's all the way down to my vocabulary. I never say the word hope or wish or want. It's always a very confident will. Like I really see it. Like if I want to work with someone, I go into the future in my head and meditate, and I have a conversation with them. I literally feel it all. And then on top of that, I thank the universe and God for already giving it to me, because it's already mine. Like everything is already mine. Anything I want. It's already like the future is just waiting for the present's waiting to catch up to the future. Like it's already there. It's just who's going to put in the work and who's going to like take the doors being slammed in their face and keep going. Wow. Most people are not. Most people are going to go for safety and be cushy. But fuck that. Like I'm going to jump off that cliff every time. Every time. How many times have I been called crazy? 1,000,000 times.
Man.
Do I give a fuck? No. Still going to go. And being around people like Kendrick that's something I could like firsthand see, like work ethic. Like that's what it's about. Like, yes, I am talented, but if you saw how many like terrible photographs or how many shoots that like, client booked me for an hour or 2 hours and I'm shooting for 5 hours because I just want to get the best shot. That's it. I'm running for immortality. I don't care about the stuff that's around me, the big houses or cars or anything like that. I just want to be great and inspire a lot of people, touch as many people as I can while I'm on here on this earth, have as many amazing experiences. Like I've been fortunate to travel the world for free, like 3-4 times over, just off of putting my head down and working.
Man,
there's the experiences I have. There's like no ticket booth you can go to. The experience of things I've experienced just off of my camera and how hard I wanted to work in Jacksonville, Florida. So that means anybody listening anywhere in the world, they literally have the same opportunity, can do same exact thing.
From Jacksonville, Florida. That's a, like you said.
No film school, no photography school. Like I went to school for architecture. Man. All this stuff you see is like I'm interning under like legends. Like I'm studying Peter Lindbergh at night when, everybody out partying. I'm watching Helmut Newton interviews, obsessing. I watched the same interview and documentaries like 100, 200 times, just like watching film like an athlete would.
Man, that's awesome, man. I want to backtrack just a little bit because you dropping heavy jewels, man. But you said something that I thought was I want to learn a little bit more about. You said if you want an opportunity or you want to work with somebody, in meditation, you will go and have a conversation with that person.
Oh, yeah.
So how does that process, like, you just see yourself working with them? You talk to them about what you just did. You share like what you're trying to accomplish with them. That's Napoleon Hill talks about that. He has a divine counsel. I tried it a couple of times. I just didn't commit to it. But you're the first person I've actually heard reference doing that, particularly with people that are alive. So explain it a little more to me, man.
I wish I could, man. It's I don't know. It's something I tapped into, I think by accident after I watched The Secret and also Napoleon Hill. I would watch I just let his audio tape kind of play in my background in my head and kind of just, seep into my subconscious. It was a good 6 months where I was just obsessed about Think and Grow Rich. And that whole, I was like really wanted to manifest, like working with Kendrick. Like I would put myself on a tour bus in the future, just like, feel all the senses, like of what that experience is. Like, I don't know, something about it just like tricks the universe and it brings everything to you closer. It sounds like mumbo jumbo and craziness, but I really fully feel like what you think and what you say, like that. Like I can go on another level where says in the Bible, we're created in the image and likeness of God. Like, what do you think? Like the most fundamental part of God was creativity. How did he create everything? Through his word. So if we're creating image and likeness, I believe there's the power of God inside of me just off of my words and what I think and feel.
Man, man, you are giving a word right here, man. I feel like, man,
I never do captions. I suck at all that stuff, but I do have a lot to say on the inside. Just, the story and everything. So I really appreciate this for sure.
Nah, most definitely, man. And it's powerful to hear because I feel like, early on when we were first getting started, we would come across a lot of opportunities. I remember, I think it was like, I don't know, me and you, we went to like Atlanta, I think maybe like Resides magazine, because a lot of people were coming through FAM. So even though we were in Tallahassee, it wasn't like we were in a small town where nobody was at. There were so many, people in our space that were coming through town. And I remember how we would come across certain opportunities and different things like that. But I say, speaking for myself more so, I think I was at a place where maybe my talent was opening up doors and my different skill sets were opening up doors, but I hadn't developed the inner game to be in the correct receptive mode to actually be able to embrace the good things that were happening. And like you say, using words, being powerful, I just took it as chance, happenstance. I know somebody, this, that, and the other. I didn't take it. I didn't claim ownership at that point in my life of things that were happening as the power of my mind and the power of my alignment and the power of the God in me creating that. And I think I wrote off a lot of things as blessings. And I think you have to be in the receptive mode for what it is that you are trying to manifest. Even, to your point, the university I work at right now is just a dream job for me, but even after I interview here, I would just drive by it every day and just imagine myself parking. So it's just amazing how that stuff really actually works. What do you feel like is the biggest difference between Parsons in 2018, who is a renowned photographer who's killing it, speaking authoritatively the way you are, versus the Parsons 3-4 years in who has a lot of talent but doesn't necessarily know if it's going to happen? Like what changed? What sparked that growth?
Man, honestly, it was a lot of failure. A lot of failure. Learned a lot of lessons the hard way. If I had a mentor and like really went hard at that, I probably could have like shortcut a lot of things. But I think it's just a lot of mistakes and learning from them. Has definitely changed me a bit. I think now I'm learning to say, it's okay to say no sometimes. I was just saying yes to everything and, running myself down to just, shooting anything and everything. Now I'm getting to more like, okay, what is it that I really want to shoot? And just going after that. And it's crazy to be in this situation, coming from when I first came to LA. I was sleeping on my friends' hardwood floors, got evicted from my place in New York, like literally like just left everything behind to pursue this opportunity to work with Kendrick, and it finally manifested itself. Literally, as I felt like I was about to hit the ground, like literally, it's about to like I'm back home in Jacksonville, and get this call, sending you to Dublin to go on tour. It was like that's a whole another crazy. That in itself is probably a podcast by itself.
Wow, man. Let me ask you: from the time you started, you never put the camera. I've never seen you stop. I've never seen you, take a break, pivot, try something else. You stayed in your lane from start to, and I know this isn't the finish, but from beginning to where we presently are at. And through the bumps in the road, through the failures, how do you treat mistakes? How do you kind of analyze them, look at what went wrong? Do you just kind of keep it moving, positive reinforcement? Full disclosure, I'm still stumped right now on how do I handle failure and how am I supposed to look at it? So,
I think when in the beginning I was just failure would happen, I would just keep running, or like fail, keep running, make the same mistake like 20, like that thing, insanity, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm fucking insane. I would just keep doing the same shit over and over again, not working. Now it's like what you say, like make a mistake. Let me just sit back, analyze, like let me just tweak what actually went wrong. And I think that's something you learn, the faster you can learn that, the better you are. Because if, something's going wrong, there's obviously a reason. You got to step outside of it sometimes. And also, I think you just got to be real with what your strong points are. Like, I know what my strong points are, and I definitely know what my weaknesses are. And where your weaknesses are, that's when you have other people to come in and supplement those weaknesses. But it, takes time.
Nah, most definitely. Most definitely. What do you use as your litmus or your measuring stick, so to speak, for your progress, in your craft? Is it, are you looking at improvements in things that, I don't know, maybe only from a photographer's eyes? Is it a productivity thing? What do you do to judge, whether you're moving in the right direction, maybe from a month to month, year to year basis, outside of just, money and, the rudimentary things that don't necessarily tell the full story?
I don't know. My internal voice is never satisfied. Anyone tells me like, yo, your work is good, my internal voice is like, it's still ain't shit. Like, keep going, still ain't shit. So I don't know. I guess my litmus I think with like photos, like things that gravitate to me the most is for sure, like, it's just like what I feel. I look at it, and if it gives me a reaction, or if I feel something from it, or if someone else feels something from it, then, I think it's a successful photo. And also, I'm just always looking at really great photographers before me, who I admire, and putting it up next to that. Yeah, that's about it.
Man, that's real, man. If we go back,
I do get to a period. I know if I ever hit like a plateau and I'm like, all right, shit, I'm doing the same stuff, then I just stop. I'll stop it, and I'll just stop shooting for like, it might go like a week or something with no shoot or something. And I'm just living life and getting more experience. I'm going to watch movies. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to walk around, look at magazines, and just feed my brain. And then that wave comes again, go crazy, and it hits.
So you just when you hit a plateau, or when you hit a I guess the photographer's
like a block
equivalent.
or something.
You just get away from it, or you just go back to the inspirational source?
Yeah, some people, like everybody, you know what? That's actually a question I usually ask every creative is what do they do in writer's block or creative block? And for me, yeah, I just like to get away completely from it and just let my brain recharge, like let whatever, like refeed it, you know, because you gotta, like creativity is, you gotta take care of it too. You gotta feed it energy also. So that's, you know, I know when, like, if it's just like, if I'm hitting the wall, it's not that moment. It's, even if like you create music, you're in the studio, like I see it all the time, musicians, like, you know, they might be in the studio all night just like forcing a record that sounds crap every time they try to record it because it just ain't that moment right now. But in our commercial society, like everyone wants shit right now. Like I need my art right now. Like, yo, like literally creating something from thin air takes time sometimes, you know.
Man, no, that's real, man. I think we have lost the appreciation of patience. You know, I think that we're so, and I hate to see like art almost become industrial, where it's, you know, and almost formulaic, and really we don't appreciate just acknowledgement of the moment. And it's, I mean, even, you know, for me, you know, even creatively, right? It's hard for me to accept that today is not my day. And I think if I embrace that more, basically it would minimize, you know, crap days. I mean, but as in American society, we're obsessed with productivity, and, you know, we're obsessed with creation to the point where sometimes we don't embrace the fact that, like, you describe creativity as something that needs nourishment, something that needs to be well kept, something that needs to be, you talk about creativity almost as if it's like a physical item that needs to be, you know, treated with respect and dignity. And I think that's really dope. I think, and it comes out in your work. And something that I'm looking to embrace myself more is just really realizing that, hey, I love the Jay-Z quote, man. He said, everyone is a genius, but you have to treat your genius in a genius way. What you described in our whole conversation is you treated your genius as a genius. You haven't treated your genius as a stepchild or as a, you know, as
No.
a nagging partner. You've treated your genius like a genius. And there's a level of self-respect in that. And there's a level of also nobility in that. Because I look at you, you could easily right now, you know, be in Jacksonville, have, Parsons photography studio in Jacksonville, and taking, you know, headshots of seniors graduating, and, you know, family photos, and, you know, mothers having a baby. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in doing that if that's in your heart. But if what's really in your heart is what you're doing now, and you settle for that, then that's where, you know, I think, you know, you've aborted a mission that could have been really special. And that's the thing, like I'm hearing, what that self-respect, what that genius like treatment does is it kind of has kept you moving forward and not accepting any consolation prizes. Because I'm sure there's been, I mean, from the time you set foot and were studying architecture, there's been consolation prize after consolation prize, and you continuously said no to them.
Oh yeah, for sure. And also, like any like milestone that I've ever had on the way up, I never let it touch me. I never like almost dodge it. Now it's like I'm like a perpetual intern still in my head. I'm still at Markstar Multimedia, like it's the same thing. I've never transitioned in my head from intern to who I am now. It's like it's happening. It's been it's like I went from, you know, like when you go to college and everything and, you know, you do that route, like your growth is kind of like, you can see it like steadily incline. Mine was the opposite. It like declined drastically, decline. But the further you decline, when that rubber band snaps, because eventually it snaps, it flings you so fast. Like me, it's going to look like I came out of nowhere because my name is about to be everywhere. There's nobody. If you stand next to me with a camera, I promise you, I will outshoot anybody and everybody. There's nobody in there alive that can stand next to me that I will not come for, because it's just like being competitive. Like that's the biggest thing also on the inside. Like I used to be an athlete, so I carried over basketball into photography. The same thing. When I'm shooting, I got about 4 people helping me out. So look, we're a team. So then you start figuring out who you're. I might be dropping too many jewels for y'all today, man.
Hey, man, that's what you're here for, man. Man, I'm a miner, man.
You know what I'm saying? But what I do want to do, I want to give you a sneak peek into my lab. So you spoke on to everyone wanting, this commercial art, like right now. I have tons of photos from like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago, this year, like, because I shoot so much, and it might just be a test shoot. And those models there, like, hitting me, like, where's my pictures? Where's my pictures? Where's my pictures? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make everybody wait. And this year, like, soon, I'm going to do a book, and it's just going to be called Archives. And it's going to be, it's going to be my joke on everybody else. Like, everybody wants, instant. Take it right now. I need my stuff right now, today. I'm going to show you that my art can stand the test of time, and it's going to be timeless. You don't have, like, when you look at my work, you're not going to know it's 3 years ago. You're going to think it's still today.
Man, that's what it is. That's definitely what it is. And I respect that process. And man, for you, I feel like you, even though you don't do a podcast, for you being around so many different, just exceptional artist talents, I mean, you basically live this podcast. You get to be around the energy. And one thing about it is, when it comes to habits and success, I'm a thief. If you do something that's working for you and I see it's working, I'm gonna have to try that. It's just,
I'm the biggest thief. What do you mean? I'm a thief also. Everybody's thieves.
No, definitely.
My approach sometimes is like kind of with music. Like I look back and I sample the greats and then throw them up in my head and create a new recipe. And my brain is like always, I'm walking down the street, I'm always looking at lighting. I'm always looking at locations, people, fashion, what they're wearing. Like, it's just, my brain just doesn't stop.
What are some things, like, when you being around, Kendrick, Kelly Roland, one of my favorites, Jaden Smith is one of my favorite people. Like, I said this 3 years ago, back when everybody thought he was, just this loony kid. I was like, man, I understand Jaden Smith. And I've been saying that for, maybe longer than that. But I understand anybody who's going on a journey. What things have you taken from any of your clients? It doesn't have to be, the ones that are more. No, it could be a mother that you shot, in Dothan, Alabama. But like, what have you taken from some of the artists and the creatives that you've been able to spend that type of time around in that intimate, photography setting that you apply to your own craft today?
I think it's all, literally everything I've said leading up to this right now I've taken from all my life experiences. Okay. Like, going into the future and talking, like, that's for sure. Like, my mentor, like Napoleon Hill. Why can't your mentor be dead? Like, your mentor doesn't have to necessarily be alive. Your mentors could be like Leonardo da Vinci. Like, you can go back and read and learn, like, from all, like, if someone spent an entire lifetime on photography, why am I going to spend another lifetime to redo the same thing that he already did? Why don't I learn from all those journeys from all these different creatives and then make my own journey? Like, don't start at the beginning, start in the middle. Like, start 3/4 along where this other person was, and take it further. And then also, as you're taking it further, I remember Justin told me, he's like, I'm teaching you all this. And I told him, thank you. He's like, but one day you have to give it to somebody else too. So it's like, I got this like magical orb or something like that was handed off to me. And now I'm like passing it. Like, I have an intern now. He is 7 years old.
7?
7 years old. I'm teaching him photography, video back in Jacksonville, Florida. Little Jonathan, a little King Bobo is his nickname. But and that actually helps me out because it brings me back to my youth. It brings me back to that beginning part, that energy of being excited, and it makes me alive again, and I go harder again.
It's the completion. I mean, really, it's the completion of the cipher. And that's pretty awesome, man. I had a dear friend of mine. He's actually a 5%er. He revealed to me what my name means yesterday. What basically Rob J means, and he even had the spelling right. Like, a lot of people think my middle name is actually J-Y. It's really just a middle initial. And man, it was special. It kind of goes along the lines of what we're talking about. The only thing was I took an oath with my unborn son that I would share it with him when he gets here, and he doesn't even have a mother yet. So y'all stay tuned, man. But I like just the meaning behind and the completion of, you know, what you just described as far as the learning, the gathering, the growing, and then coming back to the giving. And I'm moving into that. I'm moving into that section of my phase in my development. You know, even here we're having a summer camp, and I just read this book. I'm reading this book called Lynchpin about Seth Godin and just being irreplaceable. And it lit a fire in me where I'm like, now I'm just volunteering for everything. I'm just like, how can I don't see myself as a web developer anymore. I see myself as an artist, you know, and I create art on behalf of the university. And ever since I started thinking like that, I've been seeing so many different things open up. But one thing that people look at me all the time is, I think a lot of people maybe overestimate my level of intelligence. People think that I'm really just brilliant mind, but I really feel like this. I feel like, hey, I'm the old head in the neighborhood who loves boxing. So he has a small boxing gym on the corner, wakes up every morning, goes and jogs, you know, and goes punches on the bag. That's it. But I just want to be there for the next person who maybe can be a heavyweight champ, maybe can take it to the next level and really be able to fuel that next generation. You know, maybe to your point, King Bobo is 7. King Bobo is getting to where we were 21. You know, he's starting at 7. And I think, man, if we can, if every generation we can just move up the starting point, I think we'll continue to get better, you know, and that's pretty awesome. A 7-year-old intern, you know, I'm actually gonna change. I was just talking to some people about this camp we're gonna be doing, and was gonna be teaching an HTML class, and it was supposed to start in 6th grade. And somebody had asked me about a kid who was in 4th grade. I'm gonna go back because of what you just said, and I'm gonna tell them, hey, it starts at 6th grade, but I'm gonna personally, if you want your kid here, it won't be a problem. I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, you know, I think school systems sometimes they miss out on the kids who are the actual geniuses, and because you know you're teaching at a certain level, and now some kids are like way far more advanced than others, and you kind of like, you know, studying their growth, and you're just teaching them at this low level, and then they're talking in class and daydreaming because you're not able to capture and reach their minds, and they might be labeled, you know, the troublemaker or something like that, and that's not really even the case. Like, I think everybody just needs love at the end of the day. Like, everybody just needs someone to believe in them and to tell them, like, yo, you're amazing. Like, look at yourself. Like, look at the talents that you've been given, and now you just got to put the work behind it. Nobody wants to put the work. Once you, like, really in my, you know, like, I made a lot of mistakes too, like, along the way. One of the biggest mistakes I think I could have, you know, was just learning your faults. Like me, I am like as far to the side of an artist as you can go. I live in a literal, I don't know the world I live in, but it is not existence of like text messages, phone calls, and communication. I am like communicating over here, like what you say, like with art. And it's like, I should have just facilitated and had someone else in to create that structure. Now that I'm doing it, it's like, wow, life is so much easier. It's like it started clicking. I was like, wait, I'm around artists, and they're not trying to handle their like business stuff. They're not trying to be their accountant and trying to, for a reason, like, you know, put as much of my energy. I want to hyper focus it into my like supernatural genius, which is just like, I don't believe in storyboards. I don't plan stuff like shoots. I literally just show it with my camera. I can show it with my camera anywhere and be confident that I'm going to get a dope shot in any type of lighting scenario, any type of location. And it's tough because it's, as a client, like you want to see, like they want to see what they're getting, like investing in, like, and putting their money in. I'm like, well, I'm just showing you like all these other photographers' work. Like, you want me to recreate these other photographers' work? I could do that, but not anymore. I'm just literally, I want to like also do a social experiment and just give every client the same mood board. Change their name up top and just give everyone the same mood board.
No, that's real.
Yeah. It's like transit. As when you first start out, you're like, you know, I was the client more so had the idea, and I'm just recreating. They want bright pink colors and all this stuff. All right, I'll do this for you. All right, you want to look like Terry Richardson? Yeah, I could do that. Okay, you want to look like Helmut Newton? Okay, yeah, I could do that. Now it's getting to like, all right, I'm Parsons. And you can look, when you look at my IG feed, you can see when I'm recalibrating myself, when I like lost myself. I go crazy in black and white. And I'll have tons of posts, sequential posts in black and white. That's me literally recalibrating myself and leveling up. I'll go hard on it, and then I'll move off into something else. And then when I come back to my black and whites, I come back with new experiences, and then it just keeps getting better. Keep trying to see how I can just like rip up the canvas and start over. Rip it up and start over. Do an edit. Oh, that looks cool. Nope. Let's start over. I'm never afraid to just start over.
Man, no, that's what's up, man. That is definitely what's up, man. Hey, I want to issue a challenge to you.
Okay.
You can get with your homeboy Napoleon and them. I think this would be dope, man. I would love to see you do this, man. A manifestation challenge, man. Man, I'd like to see you take some pictures of my homeboy. He from Chicago. Cool brother. His name's Barack. Yeah, Barack, he used to be the president. He's just chilling now. I think some Parsons photos with Barack Obama. I think that's a good challenge. What day is it right now?
I already shot Barack.
Oh, goddamn. Hey, podcast over with, man. Look, man.
No, I didn't finish though. I already shot him in the future. I'm just waiting for it to catch up the present time.
Wow. Wow.
It was a great shoot too. It's legendary. It's in my book.
Man,
that's one of my life books for sure. It's already happened. I'm just waiting for it. It's already there. I'm not even waiting for it. I know it's there. It's gonna happen.
Nah, man, that's awesome, man. Well, hey, man.
But hey, I'm got those lines. Look that up though.
Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and holler at a couple of my spiritual friends and see if we could get that arranged for you. Man, a couple things. Normally, man, we like to close out with a person that's kind of giving their 30-second commencement speech. So, we have Parsons here today, students. He's already, gave us tons of jewels, but for all of you out there who just want to, cliff note set of nuggets, he's going to give us a brief commencement speech. The floor is yours, Chris.
Good afternoon, graduating class of 2018. All right, I don't know where I was going with that. I had a real good place I was going to go. Commencement speech. How many people are here in front of me right now?
Thousands, man.
All right, I got another side note to tell you.
What's that?
Maybe like a couple of weeks ago. This was like probably a moment. This is like one of let me just tell you this and then close out. All right, I'm in Berlin. Last show of the tour. Kendrick Lamar, damn tour Europe. I'm the only photographer on the whole entire tour. No press outlet, no one else can actually shoot it. And the last song comes on, and I'm like, you know what? I've never been on stage the entire tour. It's like, for me, that's just like a sacred place. I never want to get in the way of the artist. I'm there, but I'm not there at all times. But right before he goes on, he's like, yo, you want to get this from the stage? So then I'm like, what? All right. So I walk out, and then he took a different route. So I'm literally the first one out there, and the camera is out, and I'm in front of 20,000 people, and they all got their flashlights up on their phone. And in that moment, I remember back in Tallahassee, Florida, wanting to be able to shoot artists so bad and not being able to get into the door, just like hustling, trying to I remember to get a photo pass. I saw Julia Beverly like backstage, and I was like, I needed a press pass for this T-Pain like album release show. And Leon, what is it? What's the convention center? I forgot.
Leon County Civic Center.
There you go. So I go to Julia. She's like editor of Vogue Magazine. And I was like, you don't know me, but I need a photo pass. And I'll give you all my photos to use for your magazine. She literally does not say anything. She looks at me, reaches in her pocket, hands me over my credentials. And then there it is. That's like another key pivotal moment for sure. Just realize like, you can't just settle for the door being closed in your face. Like, you got to knock on it, go tap on the window, maybe try the back door, maybe even like that doesn't work, try to go through the fucking chimney. Like, don't always just, take, if you want something, pursue it all the way. So I would say in my commencement speech, just being fearless, not caring, not apologizing, just being yourself. And if yourself changes, because it will every day, move with it, go with it. whatever dream you want, just really dream as big as possible. Like your dream should really like scare you. It should be so impossible, but I guarantee they're always possible.
Man, that's awesome, man. Man, dog, man, bro, as a friend, as a brother, I love you, man. I value you. I'm proud of you, man. And man, this is inspiring talk. I really have to go back and this weekend I'm gonna really do some soul searching, man, and really make sure, like, am I dreaming big enough? Because you just brought me back somewhere, man. And it's certain energy I hadn't felt in a long time, man. And man, I'm just looking forward to just witnessing the next step for you. I mean, I'm enjoying the present step and just seeing everything that you're doing, man. So, man, you've been a blessing to my life, man, a real friend, man. I value you, man. I appreciate your time today, man.
Man, I appreciate you big time also, man. It's you're literally there in the very beginning when I was sleeping at the office. Mark Starr, we're literally right there at the very beginning together. You've been able to see the development, and likewise yourself seeing your development. Super proud of you and everything you're doing. Just, we're going to keep taking it to the next level. We're going to keep inspiring the next generation. And things like your podcast, that's what's going to be able to like multiply these lessons and give it to many people at once versus like just, one person. Teach everyone manifestation and what's possible out here.
Hey, that's real. That's real. Oh, hey, one last thing, man. Hey, man, now that you getting this money, dog, what's up with that $30 let you hold senior year, man?
Oh man!
Can I get that hot 30 back? Yeah, plus that interest, man. You got this money.
Hey, I got you, man.
Hey, no doubt, man.
I'll tell you what interest. I'm gonna within the next couple of years, I'm gonna do a crazy film, and it's all just gonna be my life. I'm gonna make millions of people go watch my life. It's gonna be called Life is Free.
Life is free. Hey, well, shoot, you make it, I'll watch it.
I've already made it. You will watch it.
I've already watched it then. So, hey, appreciate you, man. Ball is life, man.
All day.
All right, man. Peace.